If your cat sleeps with you tonight, they have already decided something about you that most humans never earn in an entire lifetime. It looks sweet, sure. A warm little body curled against your ribs, a soft rumble against your skin. But underneath that picture is a message so specific and so deliberate that once you actually understand it, you will never look at bedtime the same way again. I've spent decades with my hands on cats. The sick ones, the terrified ones, the ones taking their last breath, and thousands of perfectly healthy ones who simply refuse to sleep anywhere except on their person's chest. And I can tell you, with everything I've learned in the exam room, that the way a cat chooses to sleep beside you is one of the most honest confessions in the entire animal kingdom. Most owners are reading it completely backward, and some of you, right now, are missing a warning sign your cat has been sending for weeks. Stay with me, because the seventh one is the one that walks people into my clinic in tears, wishing they had caught it 7 days sooner. Here's what makes this so easy to get wrong. We tell ourselves a comfortable little story. The cat is cold, I'm warm, that's the whole thing. And I understand why. It feels harmless and obvious. But a cat's normal body temperature runs between 100.5 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, a full 3 to 4 degrees hotter than yours. Their comfort zone, the temperature range where their body doesn't have to spend a single calorie keeping warm, sits somewhere around 86 to 97 degrees. That is why cats are the best heat seekers in your entire house. A sunny windowsill, a laptop keyboard, a laundry basket fresh out of the dryer, the warm patch on the couch where you just stood up. They can find 86 degrees anywhere. So if warmth were truly all they wanted, they would not need you. They have options. The fact that they walk past every one of them and climb onto the one creature in the house 15 times their size tells you the choice was never about temperature at all. And this matters more than almost anything else I could teach you, because sleep is the single most defenseless moment in a cat's day. A cat sleeps 12 to 16 hours out of every 24, and during deep sleep, every survival instinct they own is switched off. In the wild, an unguarded sleeping cat is a dead cat. Everything in their wiring screams at them to disappear, to find somewhere high, hidden, and impossible to reach. So when your cat ignores all of that and presses into the crook of your arm, they are handing you the most vulnerable version of themselves that exists. Before I go one step further, I want to give you something, because I know that once these 7 signs click into place, you're going to want to actually act on them. For years, my clients kept asking me to put all of my bedtime, bonding, and behavior recommendations in one place instead of scattered across 100 appointments. The exact routines, the trust-building steps, the little environmental fixes I walk owners through when a cat starts pulling away. So I finally built it into one simple guide. You can grab it at the link in the description or in the pinned comment. If your cat's sleep habits have ever confused or worried you, it will change how you live together. Now let's get into it. Number 1, when your cat sleeps against you, they are literally rewriting your shared identity through scent. Have you ever noticed the head press right before they settle? That firm, deliberate bump of their cheek or forehead into your jaw? That is not affection the way we think of it. That is chemistry. Cats have scent glands packed along their cheeks, their chin, their lips, their forehead, and the base of their tail, and the pheromone they deposit from their face, the one scientists call the feline facial pheromone, is the exact chemical a cat uses to mark the things it considers safe and its own. Here's the part almost no one understands. Your cat has close to 200 million scent receptors doing this math, while you're working with about 5 million. So their entire social world is built out of smell in a way we can barely imagine. When they sleep pressed against you all night, they are not just tagging you as property. They are slowly blending your scent into theirs until the two of you carry one combined signature. In a colony, cats who belong together share exactly this kind of group scent. It's how they recognize family without a single sound. That is also why, when you come home from somewhere new, your cat sniffs you like a stranger and sometimes acts standoffish for an hour. You've come back smelling wrong. You lost the shared scent, and that bedtime cuddle tonight is partly them repairing what went missing. Number 2, Your cat has appointed themselves your bodyguard, and the exact spot they pick proves it. Watch where they lie down, because it is never random. A cat facing the bedroom door is watching the only entry point in the room. A cat curled by your head is guarding the part of you a predator would go for first. A cat wedged against your back has put themselves between you and the open space behind you. This goes back thousands of years to wild colonies, where cats literally take shifts. One rests while another stays alert, and they rotate through the night. Even a spoiled indoor cat who has never seen a threat bigger than the vacuum still carries that code intact. No, your 8-pound tabby is not going to win a fight with an intruder, and somewhere they probably know that. But in their mind, they have taken a post, assigned themselves a role, and every single night they clock in for a shift they were never asked to work. That is not instinct wasted on a house cat. That is love expressed the only way a predator knows how. Number 3, every sleeping position is a separate sentence, and once you can read them, your cat is talking to you constantly. Start with the tight ball, paws tucked, tail wrapped, belly completely hidden. That is the most protective shape a cat can make, and if your cat always sleeps this way near you, it means they feel safe enough to be close, but are still keeping one hand on the emergency brake. It's trust with a seatbelt on, now the full sprawl, legs stretched long, belly to the ceiling, maybe fully upside down with the paws in the air. The belly holds every vital organ a cat has, so exposing it is the ultimate white flag. A cat sleeping belly up beside you has switched off every alarm evolution ever installed. When they turn their back to you, don't take it personally. In cat language, turning your back on someone is a compliment, because it means they trust you enough that they don't need to keep an eye on you. And the full contact press, the one where they wedge into an impossible gap just to eliminate every millimeter of space between you, that is the single strongest statement in the entire vocabulary. That's not a needy cat. That's devotion with a heartbeat. Number 4, your cat literally reprogrammed their own body clock to match yours, and this one still amazes me after all these years. Cats are crepuscular by nature, meaning they are hardwired to hunt at dawn and dusk. That is the schedule tens of thousands of years of evolution baked into them. By that design, a cat's active hours should have almost nothing to do with your 9-to-5 life. And yet bonded cats do something genuinely remarkable. They override their own biology. Studies of house cats living closely with people show that these cats gradually shift their sleep and wake cycles to shadow their owners, staying awake longer during your daylight hours and consolidating deeper sleep at night, not because it's natural, but because that's when you're available. Think about the size of that gift. An internal clock built over thousands of generations gets quietly rewritten just to steal a few more overlapping hours with you. It's the same reason your cat is waiting at the door when you get home and shows up on your chest 90 seconds before your alarm goes off. They didn't memorize a habit. They learned your rhythm and chose it over their own. Number 5, they feel your stress hitting before you've said a single word about it, and sleeping beside you is how they keep score. When you're anxious, your body floods with cortisol, your breathing gets shallower and faster, your muscles hold tension, and your personal scent chemistry actually changes. Your cat, with those 200 million scent receptors and ears that can register sounds nearly 2 octaves higher than yours, reads all of it. They don't know you got bad news at work, but they know your baseline shifted, and they respond. This is exactly why so many cats become extra clingy when their person is sick, grieving, or quietly falling apart. Sleeping against you every night gives them a front row seat to your heart rate, your restlessness, and your breathing pattern, and they build a running average of what your normal feels like. So the night something is genuinely off, they already know, and they show up closer than usual. Some of you have felt this exact thing and couldn't explain it. Now you can. Number 6. That soft engine running against your chest is doing more than sounding cozy. A cat's purr vibrates in a frequency range of roughly 25 to 150 hertz, and the lower band of that range, around 25 to 50 hertz, is the same range physical therapists use to stimulate bone density and tissue healing in humans. Cats don't only purr when they're content, They also purr to self-soothe when they're stressed or in pain, which is why you may hear it in a carrier on the way to my office. When your cat purrs pressed against your body as you fall asleep, they are quite possibly regulating themselves and, as a side effect, dropping your own heart rate and blood pressure right along with theirs. It is one of the few truly mutual exchanges between two different species. You provide the safe place, and their body hands a little calm back to yours. That is not a metaphor. That's a measurable physiological loop happening on your pillow every night. Number 7, and this is the one I begged you to stay for. When a cat who has always slept with you suddenly stops, do not brush it off and do not take it personally. Cats are creatures of ritual, and a change this big is never a mood. It is a message. Sometimes the reason is physical, and this is the one that breaks my heart, because cats are masters at hiding pain. It is a survival instinct. A sick animal that looks weak becomes a target, so they withdraw and hide it until they cannot anymore. If a cat who slept on your chest for years suddenly wants to be alone, especially an older cat, I want that cat seen by a veterinarian, because arthritis, dental disease, kidney trouble, and hyperthyroidism all show up first as a quiet retreat. Sometimes the reason is environmental. A new pet, a new partner, a moved piece of furniture, a change in your schedule. What feels trivial to you can feel like an earthquake to a creature that maps its whole world by scent and routine. And sometimes it's emotional. If something startled them in that room, or a loud argument happened in that space, they may pull back to protect themselves. The point is simple. Your cat chose your bed because they trusted you completely. So when that choice reverses, they are not being difficult. They are telling you something changed. Watch, listen, rule out the medical piece first, and then gently rebuild the safety that earned that trust in the first place. Because that little nightly ritual was never small to them, and after everything you've just learned, I hope it will never be small to you again. I want to say one honest thing before you go. I'm a veterinarian, but I'm not your cat's veterinarian, and nothing I've told you tonight is a diagnosis or a substitute for hands-on care. If your cat's sleep, appetite, litter box, or behavior changes suddenly, please don't wait. Call your own vet and get them examined. Trust what your cat is telling you, and then let a professional confirm it. Sleep well tonight, and give that little bodyguard a scratch behind the ears from me.